Hi guys, so in today's video, I want to show you guys how I moved across the country with 4 dogs in my car. Um, it was an adventure, I will admit. So let me just get into it. So if you're planning on doing something, going on a long road trip with your dogs, whatever, technically it's the safest to put them all in kennels, but based on this room I had, I could not put them all in kennels. Only the littles were in kennels just because I didn't want them getting stepped on by Echo and Stella while we were driving. So I put them in the kennel, and they were in an okay sized kennel, it wasn't bad. And then the other dogs were just in the car. I had all the seats down, which also is not the safest, but it was just, we needed room. We were driving 30 something hours. We needed the room. Okay. If you're going a kennel route, you should make sure all the kennels you have would fit in the car. It's a lot easier with 1 dog, a lot harder with 4 dogs to do all this. If I just had Maui and Sandy, they would have been in the kennel. I would have more room for other stuff, but I did not have Maui and Sandy. I had 2 other dogs I had to think about. Almost had 3 other dogs I think about, which would have been wild. Because when we originally talked about it, we were going to also drive my mom's car, but we ended up putting it on a trailer because my brother wanted to go to a concert, so he got out of the whole moving stuff driving across country because he got to stay and go to a concert while we drove across the country with all these dogs. So my car was the one driving with all the dogs, and then we had the U-Haul Penske, whatever, and then my mom's car with stuff in it on the trailer. And it's not safe to put your dog in a car because it was we left November. We left Thanksgiving Day. That's the day we left to drive. It was cold out in Michigan. That's where we started. It was in Michigan, and it's not like it wouldn't have been safe to have your dog in a vehicle that you were not in. So you can't put him in the Penske. You can't put him in the empty car. You have to put him in a car. So I feel like I have to say that because some people would not understand that. But you cannot do that, right? So because I was going to have Echo and Stella out, and originally Penelope or whatever, Penelope was going to go in a cage, so we would have had less room, but I ended up rehoming her, which I have a video about. I don't know if I'm going to post it before this one or after this one about what happened, why I had to rehome her, but yeah, that'll be another video about that. But I put this grate up behind the passenger seats, or the front seats or whatever, the 2 front seats, so the dogs couldn't get in the way to get in, to bug us while we were driving or trying to sleep while the other one was driving. Because Echo was very, nosy, and when we would drive, when I would have to leave the house for people to do showings at our house, she kept getting in the way. She kept, while I was driving, being right here, trying to lick my ear, and that's distracting. So I put that up so she could not reach, none of the dogs could reach us. Stella has a habit of jumping in the front seat. We had snacks that we had bought at gas stations to eat or whatever in the front seat, and she would have got into that, all the dogs. So I put that up. I also had this little net that held stuff, which worked out great. I pre-portioned all their food into Ziploc bags, so I didn't have to sit there and scoop and measure. I just opened the Ziploc bag, put what they needed, and then fed them. I still rehydrated the food on the trip. I gave them calming medication because it was a long road trip. We weren't staying in hotels. We were driving straight through, right? So they had calming stuff, and I'm gonna put clips here, so let's get into that. To think about what videos I have. So the cage was behind the passenger seat. I put dog beds. Their dog beds saved room for packing. Plus, they need a cushion to lay on because they're all seniors. Well, Echo wasn't. I don't know. Echo's could be a senior. She's about 6 or 7. So, and this was only a few months ago. But they're all older dogs. They're not young. Even with young dogs, you still want them to have cushion. This is a long road trip. I mean, I was suffering, dude. I'm sitting in the seats, I can't sit here anymore. I had to stand. I had to keep taking all my seatbelt to, kind of stand up for a second. I'm not someone that could, sit forever. I know, based on my body, it looks like I could sit forever, but I get up very often. I'll sit down, do something, and then I get up. And I don't even need to do something. I just get up because I can't help it. I'll make myself do something oh, I'm gonna go get some more water or something, even though my cup is halfway full. Something like that. I suffered so much. The dogs, I know, we were all restless. They slept really great, the whole trip pretty much. They slept, so that was fantastic. The sleeping pills worked. The relaxing, calming stuff worked. So good. So yeah, we had it like that. I could still, if I needed to reach them, I could still reach them because of how the net is. I could reach my hand back. So yeah. Another thing I made sure I had is I had treats for them, like long-lasting chews. Not really, they weren't too long-lasting, because I didn't have the time to order some more or the money at that point because I needed to save my money for this trip. So I just had I just got some Busy Bones and stuff like that, something that would just entertain them for a minute. I wish I had, not bully sticks, because that would have stunk bad, but like my beef cheek rolls or something, or yak chew, so they could have really like entertained. I also didn't want to give them something too long lasting, just because I didn't want, if Echo were to go try to take Stella's, that a fight would break out, you know, that we would need to somehow break up because we're in a car, and that would be so hard to do, right? Every time we stopped, we would get gas and then go and let the dogs out. I would try to let them walk around, and get some exercise a little bit, walk around a little bit. I couldn't do too much because I did one dog at a time because I was the only one letting out all the dogs. So I had to do one at a time, so it's not like I could leave one out and we had to get back on the road. So I just gave them enough time to really walk around, make sure they really went to the bathroom. Echo has this tendency on road trips to hold in her poop, which she did do. She didn't poop the first day at all when she should have, but she did poop the second day a little bit, and then when we got to our destination, she went. Because she says that tendency is when she's nervous about something that she holds it, which we found out when we drove her from Arizona to Michigan, right? Where am I at? So yeah, when they would be out, what I would do while I was holding the leash on to one dog is I would try getting some of the food around so I could get it. I boiled some water before we left and put it in my Yeti. Like, I have one of those like to-go Yetis, a thermos Yeti, and I put hot water in that, so they had hot water or warm water or whatever for their meals for the trip. It worked out perfectly. I was like, hopefully it stays warm. I know it would stay warm for the first meal, but the second meal I was like, and it was still pretty warm for the second meal. So I recommend a Yeti for holding hot stuff because that thing was amazing. That was amazing. So yeah, I still did that because I needed to dilute their pills so they would eat them or whatever, make sure they ate it. Then I would give them their dishes. Sometimes I would let another dog, if Stella seemed more restless one time, I would like let her out a second time to eat, and then she could walk around a little bit more if we had like the time. You know, it took a minute to sometimes to get a spot to fill up the gas for the Penske because it was a diesel and we had to wait. So like it was nice that we would have to wait for the Penske, so it wasn't like people were really waiting on me too much. There was also times that we stopped when we didn't need gas that we let the dogs out. I think only twice that happened, but we stopped for something. Oh, we were gonna get gas because we were starting to get low and we were gonna not be able to hit a gas station anytime soon. But the gas station we stopped at was closed, and we're like, well, we'll let the dogs out now. Let the dogs out. Found a new gas station. Let the dogs out again. See, I think we only did that once. The last route we had some time to kill because I got way ahead of the Penske. My car got way ahead of the Penske, so we could let the dogs really walk around. Sometimes we would try to get ahead of every single time, not sometimes, but every single time we needed a gas, we would get ahead of the Penske at least by like 5-10 minutes so we could let the dogs out so they could really stretch out. And especially when the Penske had to wait, that was like the best. Echo liked to stay around me, same with Maui, so it was hard. Like, I'm like, okay, let's walk around, get some exercise. But they did pretty good. I really wish that the cage I had set up behind the driver's seat had a side door because it was annoying to have to open and move the cage to open the door every single time I needed to let Maui and Sandy out. They were the last ones I let out because they were in a cage or whatever, and they ended up going to the bathroom. I could just easily throw away their stuff in the cage, and they were on that clean surface, unlike my other dogs that were on, you know, material in my car that it would have stayed pee smelling. Plus, they really didn't go most of the time. Like, they didn't drink, you know, dogs didn't drink too much. When I did hydrate their food, I didn't put a ridiculous amount of water like I usually do, because I didn't want them to be needing to pee so much. So that's how we worked it out, right? I wish I could have like somehow made their meal and then fed them right before we were going to stop. But, you know, that would have been, I don't even know how that would have worked out. But yeah. Now, I was in the vehicle all the time. We had to take turns because how the Penske is set up sucks for 3 people to fit into it. Originally, yeah, I was going to say that we were all going to, 2 people drive the Penske, 2 people drive my mom's car, and 2 people drive my car or whatever, and we switch like that. But because my brother stayed to go to his concerts that he just had to go to or whatever, when we ended up trailing my mom's car, that the Penske had 3 people and then my car had 2 people. So we all had to take turns because the middle seat for the Penske sucks to sit in. It just hurts your leg so bad. The cup holder's in the wrong spot, especially when you're a plus size person. But I think even a skinny person, a skinny short person, would have struggled sitting in that seat. And I'm a tall, bigger person, and that was just awful. I was like, this is torture. I couldn't sleep. There's no comfortable way to sit in that. Like, you would try doing this, but it was like, oh, and the beeps of a Penske. Oh my gosh, I hated the Penske. I hated that thing. Awful. If you got out of the lines, it'd go beep, 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 beep. It was just awful. It was just awful. It sucked. And I was only in it once. Thankfully, I was only in it for that one whole gas trip. My car, I think, needed to be filled up before the Penske needed to be filled up, but I have a smaller SUV, so of course the gas tank wasn't going to be, like, huge. It did last, like, 4 hours worth of driving about. Like, I have a decent gas tank, better gas mileage, too, than my other car, my Pontiac did. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, but that's kind of not. So yeah, we were in the car for basically 4 hours, let the dogs out, let them walk around a little bit. I do wish that I had a little bit of help, especially since Sandy's not my dog, it's my brother's dog. And I wish I had a little bit of help with letting them out, but no one offered, so it was only me letting them out. And if someone did help, because it was my dogs, like, I couldn't be like, could you help me? Because I'm the one that chose to have dogs, right? And I am the one that said we need to bring the dogs cross country. That's why I also know that I'm like, okay, good thing I rehome Penelope. Which I didn't, I'm gonna say this in this video now, in case I don't post the other video first. I did not rehome her because we were moving. But I'll get more into why later. But that's not why I rehomed her. Before anyone tries to say, oh, you rehomed her to move. Ooh, I like that song. To move. No, I did not. I miss her. But I talked about that in the video I made. I just need to edit it. But I don't want to look at it because it makes me sad talking about her. So I try not talking about her. I think that's it. I covered all the basics. I made sure they had food. They had long-lasting treats. At least, like, 10, 20 minutes worth of entertainment for them. They had comfortable spots to lay. They were all safe, that the littles wouldn't get crushed by the bigger dogs. They were let out every single time we stopped at a gas station, even once when we didn't even stop to get gas. Well, we did, but we didn't get gas, so they ended up getting out twice in a 20-minute period, which was great, because that was towards, like, the like, I call it, like, the middle-ish end. Like, it was in the middle, but it was the end of the middle, of the trip. So it was a great time to have that double stop, because it was one of our last stops. And we even stopped another time, actually. My mom needed to go to the bathroom at a rest stop, so we went ahead of the Penske, stopped at a rest stop. My mom went to the bathroom. I let out all the dogs, fed them, and then we got back in the car, and we still need to get gas. So actually twice. This is forever ago for me, like, I've been here for, like, 4 months. 5 months? Oh my gosh. I've been here forever. What? And I still have no friends here. But yeah, we stopped. I would recommend stopping more, but it was because we had people helping us, and they were also on a time crunch, and because people are helping us, that I wasn't like, oh, I need you to actually do this longer, like, I just couldn't really say that stuff. But I would recommend planning it for longer. Like, if you want to really go straight through to get to your destination, if you're moving or traveling with your dogs a far distance, I recommend, like, if you're not staying at a hotel, that you spend, like, 30 minutes to, like, walk your dogs each one of the days, whatever you would need. I think that would be best. That's originally what we had planned, and then it was just, like, a time crunch. It was like, well, we have to get back because they have to get back to work, and blah, 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 and so we weren't able to do that. But I recommend that people do that, right? I think I talked about everything about it. I am adding clips later on talking about stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it's helpful for anyone. If you guys have any experience, you could put down comments to help people too, if you're like, oh, you should do this too. But yeah, I will see y'all in the next video. Bye bye.